Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Boxy Reads. I'm Boxy, and in this channel I read books to you from the public domain. I am currently working on the Complete Fairy Tales of the Brothers Grimm series, and it's been a while since I've done a video, and yesterday actually I had the pleasure of meeting this really awesome family, and they're just really great actually, and they're friends of the family that I've just never met before, and it was really great to meet them. And they have this little girl, and I've got to tell you guys about this little girl because I was just so impressed, right? So not only is she really kind, like a very thoughtful person, you know, you can tell by the way that she interacted with the people around her that she's a very thoughtful person, just wonderful, caring kind of person. But after talking with her for just a few minutes, you can tell very quickly that she's very smart. She's a very independent thinker. And she's like 8, and I was very impressed. I was blown away with her. So shout out to you, little Lainey. Keep reading, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be seeing you and your family very soon. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get back to our stories. This is episode 4, and I was going to read the 4th story, but it was kind of a really creepy story, so I might save that for Halloween or something, or I just may never even read it to you guys because it's really kind of creepy. This one, so we're going to be picking up with story number 5, The Wolf and the 7 Young Kids. There's some themes in here, some thematic material that is, or I guess, at least aesthetic material, that is very similar to, like, Little Red Riding Hood and the 3 Little Pigs. So, I hope you hear the story and you think about what you know of those other stories, and you kind of compare and contrast, and think about what you think the moral of the story is. All sorts of fun stuff. Yeah, you can do all sorts of great things with books. So anyways, let's get started. Once upon a time, there was an old goat who had 7 young kids, and she loved them as any mother loves her children. One day, she decided to go into the forest to fetch some food. So she called all seven of them to her and said, "Dear children, I'm going into the forest, and I want you to be on your guard against the wolf. If he gets in here, he'll eat you all up, skin and bones. That villain often disguises himself, but you can recognize him right away by his gruff voice and black feet." "Dear mother," the kids said, "we'll take good care of ourselves. Just go on and don't worry about leaving us here." The old goat bleated and went on her way with an easy mind. But it was not long before someone knocked at the door and called out, "Open up, dear children. Your mother's back and has brought something for each of you." But the kids knew it was the wolf by his gruff voice. "We're not opening up," they cried out. "You're not our mother. She has a lovely soft voice, and yours is gruff. You're the wolf." The wolf went away to a shopkeeper and bought a big piece of chalk which he ate, and it made his voice soft. Then he returned, knocked at the door, and called out, "Open up, dear children. Your mother's back and has brought something for each one of you." But the wolf had put his black paw on the windowsill, and when the children saw it, they cried out, "We're not opening up. Our mother doesn't have a black paw like yours. You're the wolf." The wolf ran to meet a baker and said, "I've stubbed my toe. Put some dough on it for me." After the baker covered his paw, he ran to the miller and said, "Sprinkle some white flour on my paw." The miller thought, "The wolf wants to trick someone," so he refused. But the wolf said, "If you don't do it, I'll eat you up." This frightened the miller, so he made the wolf's paw white. Yes, indeed, that's the way people are. Now the villain went to the house for a 3rd time, knocked and said, "Open up, children. Your dear mother's back and has brought something from the forest for each one of you." The kids called out, "First show us your paw, so we know that you're really our mother." He put his paw on the windowsill, and when they saw that it was white, they believed him and opened the door. Yet who else but the wolf stepped inside? The kids were terrified and tried to hide themselves. The first kid ran and jumped under the table, the second into the bed, the third into the oven, the fourth into the kitchen, the fifth into the cupboard, the sixth under the wash basin, and the 7 into the clock case. The wolf began to find them and make short shrift of them. He swallowed one after the other down his throat, but he was unable to find the youngest in the clock case. When the wolf had satisfied his desire, he tottered off, lay down beneath a tree on a green meadow, and fell asleep. Shortly after, the old goat came home from the forest, and oh, what a sight met her eyes! The door to her house was wide open. The table, chairs, and benches were overturned. The wash basin lay on the ground in pieces. The cover and pillows were stripped off the bed. She looked for her children, but they were nowhere to be found. Finally, when she got near the youngest, she heard a soft voice calling, "Dear mother, I'm in the clock case." She drew him out, and he told her that the wolf had come and had eaten up all the others. Well, you can imagine how she wept over her poor children. At length she went outside, still grieving, while the youngest kid ran beside her. When they reached the meadow, she found the wolf snoring so loudly that the tree branches above him were trembling. She examined him from all sides and saw that something was moving and wriggling in his stuffed stomach. "Oh God," she thought, "could it be that my poor children that he gobbled up for his supper are still alive?" She sent the little kid home to fetch scissors, needle, and thread. When she cut the monster's belly open, and no sooner did she make the first cut than a kid stuck out his head. As she cut some more, all 6 of them jumped out, one after the other. They were all still alive and had not suffered the least bit of harm, for the monster's gluttony had been so great that he had swallowed them whole. What a joy there was! They hugged their mother and hopped about like a tailor at his own wedding. But the old goat said, "Now go and look for some stones in the field. We'll fill the godless beast's belly with them while he's still asleep." The 7 kids quickly fetched some stones and put as many of them as they could into his stomach. Then the old goat sewed him up again, and with such speed that he did not notice a thing, nor did he even stir. When the wolf had slept to his content, he stood up, and since the stones in his stomach had made him very thirsty, he wanted to go to a well and have a drink. However, as he began to walk, he swayed back and forth, and the stones in his body knocked against each other and rattled. Then he cried out, "What's that in my belly rumbling? Could it be my bones are crumbling? 6 little kids I thought I ate. They're more like stones with all their weight." When he reached the well and leaned over to drink the water, the heavy stones pulled him in, and he was drowned in a miserable way. Upon seeing this, the 7 kids ran up to the well and cried aloud, "The wolf is dead! The wolf is dead!" Then they took their mother and danced for joy around the well. The end. Alright, so that was our 5th story for episode 4. The next one we're going to be picking up is number 6, Faithful Johannes. And I'll be coming back to you guys soon with that episode. As always, feel free to comment below any thoughts or insights or anything that you think about the story. And also, if there's anything from the public domain that you would like for me to read to you, I'm more than happy to oblige. So, until next time, sleep tight.